Welcome everyone to Pocket Aces Crypto and aka Justin, backwards, but that's okay. And we have Doc, Brian, and Chrome here who are joining us from Collective Finance. We're looking forward to having a really great in-depth chat on how it all works. By all means, if you guys have questions, please throw them in there. I may not get to them right away, but I do want to. I'll definitely star them to come back to later. So, and also to help them out and help me out, don't forget to hit that like button and that subscribe button. Well, the like button more important today because that'll get these guys some more attention. So I guess if you want to start, we'll do this fairly quick time, at least at the start. If you want to just introduce yourselves first, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, perfect. Sounds good. So, guys, my name's Doc, otherwise known as Brian in the real world. I'm one of four co-founders at Collective Finance. I really am involved in project oversight and direction, investor relations, capital raise, that type of thing. Just a quick background about myself. I'm a physician in the real world, I guess you could call it. I've also been an entrepreneur over about the last 10 years or so, have multiple businesses, one of them multinational. So I've been a big gold bug and precious metals investor for a while and a big seed round and angel investor in the DeFi space. So yeah, that's me. Thanks for having us, Aces. We're happy to be here.
My pleasure. And to you, girl.
Yeah, absolutely. Chrome, also known as Jacob. I've been around in the space for a few years now. I'm also a co-founder, kind of spearhead operations. So like kind of a lot of the back end work, running the social media, organizing AMAs, stuff like that. But yeah, I've been around for a few years now in DeFi, and I was in stocks before that, but it wasn't that fun. So immediately jumped into crypto, got into DeFi, and then yeah, it's kind of where I figured out this is like my home. I really like the innovation, the building, the tech, pretty much just everything here is really fantastic. So yeah, got a nice opportunity to be on the team, and I'm here to help.
Score. Yeah, nice. That's awesome. Yeah. And
I'm sorry. Go ahead, bud.
No, I was just saying that's awesome, and the tech that's what's kind of got me all excited about this space and the opportunities it holds to just bring a change in the world, like it's internet kind of change kind of thing. This is right. So, no, that's awesome. Were you going to say something else, Brian?
Oh, no, yeah, I was just going to say, sorry, that there's two, just so everybody knows, there's two other co-founders. They're not here now. NP's really sort of on the tech side, liaison between the devs, really designed sort of technical more than anything else as well. Yeah, everybody may know him. He's been around this space for a long, long time. He's the leader of Vertec as well. And then Cripsom or Zach, he may be joining us here shortly. His role in Collective Finance, very similar to mine. He has a significant real world business background as well, especially sort of in the refi space, which is interesting. So yeah, they may be joining us, but just so you know, everybody, there's four of us total.
Nice. Yeah, somebody noticed the hat switch today. So yeah, awesome. Well, thanks so much, guys, for that. And yeah, this is neat. Yeah, it's something that's a little more unique in the space. I definitely did enjoy kind of going through my own little kind of deep dive of it and stuff. But today, definitely want to give everybody else kind of a good little overview. So first off, I guess maybe just that. I hate to be repetitive, and this is kind of the AMA rundown, but that little 30,000 foot, 50,000 foot, million foot kind of overview of what's going on here, and then we'll kind of break it down.
Yeah, perfect. Chrome, you want to give them just a quick rundown, high points?
For sure, yeah. So we're a DeFi project on Binance, and we're here to bring the ability to gain exposure to and earn yield on hard assets like commodities, such as gold, silver, and diamonds. That's basically the main value prop.
Nice. And right now you're kind of focused on one to start with, and you're going to be adding the others as time goes.
Correct. It's going to be first starting off with gold. We have a very easy and already have some stuff set up there. So yeah, gold will be the first one.
Awesome.
Yeah, and just to add real quick too to what Chrome had say, I not only built on those commodity representations and they're over collateralized, but also sort of built on the backs of Bitcoin and then a lock staking program as well, right? So that's the whole Collective Finance ecosystem. I'm sure we'll get into how it exactly works, but that's sort of who we are is in a nutshell.
Nice. And with that, I guess what we're looking at mostly then is to start with, it's going to be kind of your pre-sale to go from start to finish, I guess. Pre-sale is basically just buying into the protocol, sort of, and you're not really doing anything with it yet. But it's going to become pre-staked, I think, or pre-split to start with.
Yeah, this is one of the unique things that we're doing. So in a traditional pre-sale, let's say you put in $1,000 and there's a 10% premium or whatever it is, then you might get back $1,100 worth of the native token, right? In our case, whenever you do that, we're going to be giving back liquidity positions, right? So that will be for our native token CLF, which is paired with Wrap Bitcoin, or on Binance, it's BTCB, right? So what that will have a whole net positive effect, not only for the individual user, but also for the protocol as a whole, right? So it's a pretty unique feature that we think people will find pretty popular.
Well, the big thing here too is there's really, and it's going to be staked. So technically, I guess there still could be sell pressure if people wanted to right off the bat, but it would mean they'd have to split up the pair and do some things like that, correct?
Yeah, exactly. And actually, I'm glad you brought this up, because the way that it's set up, and we'll get into this, but we're going to be incentivizing folks to participate in our lock staking program, right? Where there will be multiple different types of rewards. We've also figured out a way where the traditional lock stake, where, hey, you put it in a 30, 60, 90 day, whatever tier it is, that it's locked and you can't get access to it. We've actually figured out a way to make that there's a secondary market, right? So where your position in that lock staking program actually becomes liquid, which is very, very appealing, right? And in doing such, it doesn't hurt the protocol either. It's sort of imagine an NFT, something being in a wrapper, right? And everything inside that wrapper stays as is, but that wrapper is transferable in essence, and carries value with it intrinsically and in the yield that it earns.
And it almost becomes its own built-in. Actually, that kind of makes me think that it's almost like it's built in over-the-counter exchange.
Exactly.
Yeah, because you're just able to kind of move it around. That's awesome. Cool. Yeah. And then I guess there's right now, this is still going on. These are still available.
Yes, absolutely. Right, so yeah, those are our pre-sale NFTs, and they are the C Gold focused. So to get one of these NFTs, you have to deposit at least $1,000 into the pre-sale. You'll get one NFT per 1,000, meaning if you do 2,000, you'll get 2 NFTs. If you do 3,000, you'll get 3. The one caveat here is that you need to lock and stake your liquidity position that you receive at launch within the Collective Finance lock staking platform. So if you deposit in $1,000, you'll be getting roughly $1,100 worth of liquidity after. You need to then lock that entire position that you receive of the liquidity to be eligible to receive the C Gold NFT. The NFT will earn you rewards in the C Gold token throughout the life of the project and as we continue to grow.
And that's all being done, I guess, just to do a quick little side note, I'll pull this over, but that's all being done here is where they're going to be doing that, correct?
Got it.
So so I believe Vertec is just working on their NFT marketplace right now to get it all readied up and good to go to launch. So there is a chance that we'll have our NFTs listed on, like, let's say OpenSea at first. That would be like one of the main places. But then yes, Vertec will have the NFT marketplace, and that's another place that you'll be able to go trade and swap the C Gold NFTs, pre-sale NFTs.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's important. Oh, sorry. That's important that you brought up Vertec, because that's where we're going to be launching, and then that's where one of our main partners, right? So our primary liquidity, everything, it's going to be on Vertec. That's the plan there too.
Nice. Yeah, so there'll be things down here with pools that they'll be able to do, and all with your ecosystem's kind of here, I guess. Then, right? Is that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Like there, Vertec is really, our main partner. Our part of our system really is augmented by their technology in their decks that they have. So for example, there's a voting gauge. If you see where it says their Volta there, right? Yeah. So based off your position, if you have a position within that Volta, you're able to vote for those pools, right? Those core pools. Collective Finance pools will all be core pools, so we'll be able to direct gauge voting, towards our pools. What does that mean? That results in more emissions, right, for participants within those pools. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
I'm gonna have to change my vote when you guys launch, I guess. Then, all right.
No, but that's a good point. Collective finance, that was one of our first investments, was in Vertec, right? And we are in the Volta. So we continue to sort of compound that position in order to have that power of voting. As you can see, there's bribes there too. So you can actually earn yield through your votes. I'll just say that our founders have a pretty good position.
Controlling votes. Nice. Good for you guys. Manipulate the market. Why don't you?
Yeah.
Awesome. So with that, then I guess, and I'm assuming maybe this is probably the good place to go next. Now, I don't want to spend too much time on these, but I do think they're beautiful. I guess I should point out, I did do a video where I basically walked through these and walked through the steps for everybody. So probably, and I don't know if you guys had a chance to look at it, but obviously maybe you can elaborate on stuff, maybe go into a little deeper detail on some of this stuff to help the viewers that maybe want to get a little bit more in depth. Because as I said, mine was more of an overarching view of everything. So stuff where you can go into more detail might be great here.
Yeah, this is a perfect one to sort of how you participate in the ecosystem. Chrome, this would be right up your alley, man.
Absolutely, definitely. So yeah, this is an infographic for participating in the ecosystem within XCLF. And so XCLF is what we were just kind of referencing earlier, but let's dive into it. So the way to participate, the main way to participate in the ecosystem is to create XCLF. So to do that, you're going to need to create a CLF and Bitcoin liquidity position. If you participate in the pre-sale, you'll be good to go right off launch. You'll have that liquidity position pretty much ready to go. So you have that liquidity position, you want to stake it on the Vertec DEX. So you can stake liquidity on Vertec to capture the rewards in the tokens, right? So you can create LP, get the trading fees, but to capture the dual token rewards, you want to stake your liquidity on the DEX. When doing so, you actually get another token back when it's called a receipt or a gauge token. You can take that token, which represents your staked liquidity on the DEX, and lock it on the collective finance platform. That will create XCLF, and it will be an NFT, as we mentioned earlier. So you can choose between one of 4 different tiers, that being the 30-day, 60-day, 90-day, and 180-day. And so obviously the weights will be more heavily towards the 180-day, meaning there's more rewards for going into the 180-day, and then it scales downwards from there all the way down to 30. So this is where the secondary market kind of comes in. So XCLF is a locked liquidity position that earns you yield and rewards in a multitude of tokens, that being our C tokens, like the first one we're going to be launching, C Gold. We're going to be doing USDC or like stable coins, as well as potentially Bitcoin and CLF tokens. So XCLF is a semi-liquid locked asset that represents your stake liquidity and also earns you a multitude of rewards that are not just more inflationary rewards or anything, but you're earning a real yield in that.
And for example, I guess they'd go to, in that case, they'd go to the claim here, and they'd see I've got some rewards because I've been in here a bit, but so they're going to end up having stuff.
It'll actually be on our own D app, so it'll be on
nice.
the collective
Okay,
finance.
So it brings you guys there.
Yeah.
No, that's
you want to
great.
go to Vertec to stake the liquidity. That's where you'll want to go. You'll find our core pool for the CLF and Bitcoin. That's where you can go create the liquidity as well as stake it, and then that's where you can then come back to collective finance, enter into the ecosystem on our platform, and then be able to get your rewards there.
Yeah,
okay, and so there's nice. Still a branding.
Yeah, Ace, this is a great example. This is a great example of how what you had up. If you can go back to that Vertec page of when we say multi-layered yield, right?
Oh yeah, it's like this.
Yes. So like when you stake your position on the DEX, you're going to be able to go to this page and claim the rewards from that pool, right? Yeah. And for our pool, it'll be dual rewards. So it'll be CLF and VRTK. So just for staking it, you'll get those rewards, right? Now then imagine you take it the next layer up is when you create XCLF, right? Because you're locking that staked position, right? Then those rewards are where you would go onto our D app and be able to claim them, right? So it's that multi-layer of yield that's coming from different places.
Nice. Awesome. So yeah, and you're going to be able to earn all these things depending on how big your size is. And then I'm assuming you'll be able to choose to compound at some point some of that stuff to then create even more yield over time and go further. So cool. Yep. Awesome. Yep. So I think we've gone through that one. This one here, I think there's kind of 2 versions of this, but I guess we'll stop on this one for a minute because I think there's lots to digest here.
Yeah, this one, it's more of like an overview of kind of where the rewards are, and kind of the breakdown of our revenue streams. And so it's like it's just a different perspective of participating essentially. So same thing, you'll be creating XCLF. So that's the liquidity position staked on the DEX, then brought over to collective finance platform and locked. And so that unlocks the ability for you to earn the yield produced by the vault treasury in the portfolio, as well as give you access to governance for voting within the platform.
Just a quick thing there, just for my understanding too, because I am kind of new to these pools. So when I actually lock it, I'm going to get a certain amount, almost like I get with the Vertec, where I get the governance token.
So yeah, exactly. That's
nice.
it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so whenever it's a really good point, because our governance token isn't CLF, right? The native. Our governance token is going to be XCLF, which is the locked version of that, right? Right, exactly. And then as Chrome was saying, those rewards that he was just explaining to everybody in the gold, the stables, our native tokens, and hopefully Bitcoin, the revenue for those rewards are produced from these three different streams, being the vault, the treasury, and the portfolio. And I mean, we can touch on those briefly if you want, you know what I mean? But they're a mix of so everybody knows, internal and external revenue streams, right? It's not just all an internal revenue stream.
Yeah, so some of your stuff is going to be your goal and all that different things that you're investing in that'll create some revenues, but then you're also going to invest in other protocols. Obviously, be very choosy because you guys have experience in the field, and you're going to try and pick and choose where you're going to help earn some additional revenue. Is that the idea?
Exactly. Yep, you got it. Yep, and you know some of the stuff that we're thinking about.
yes, we got some evergreen projects that are around, which is nice to have. So hopefully we'll get some more of those. I'm sorry, was there anything else we needed to go through there? Is that's kind of the rundown, I guess? And then
that's like the quick and dirty version of it. Whenever people want to know where the revenue comes from, and just to make sure, really, the portfolio is the outside source revenue, right? The treasury, I would say, is internal, and then the vault is sort of a mix of like internal, external revenue. But that's where the power for the rewards comes from. And the idea about all three of these are, not only do they produce rewards, but they are going to increase in value slowly over time, right? Compound on themselves, and that will provide collective finance with an underlying net asset value, right? Which is, I think, really important. So yeah,
that's where the power comes from. And look who joined us. We'll take a quick breather before we come back to these guys and bring him on. Oh, let's go to this one.
Hey, everybody.
Good day, sir. You're just messing it all up now. You're going the other direction.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna jump off and get on.
I'm joking. It's okay.
It's Discord problem. Hold on. I'm gonna actually jump and redo it here because this drives me nuts.
Making it complicated. I'm a perfectionist too with that stuff. I'll remove him down for a second. So yeah, and actually, I guess I'll go back to here for just a second before he comes back then. And the idea here too is your reward. So this is almost going back to this one, sort of what you talk about here. And this is a guide. This isn't a telling you what to do, but this is kind of possibly a strategy that I guess you could pick to go about this, and taking 50% of your returns and compounding them in, and keeping 50% for yourself to ROI with, and that kind of thing. Correct?
Yes, exactly. It's just like a recommendation, kind of just like, a good way that you could, take rewards as well as continue to compound to increase the rewards you're earning. Just the suggestion.
Yeah, exactly.
Not financial advice.
And the idea behind this too, just so everybody knows why we give people sort of that combination of those rewards. It's not random. When you look at it, those are you can participate then within our ecosystem however you want. If you want more exposure from the gold side, no problem. You want on the more volatile CLF side, go ahead, and it gives you healthy ways to take profit too. So
nice.
That's
all right, and we'll stop. We'll get him back in here and pull that off.
Thanks, Serenity, too. Giving him a shout out.
Yeah, little props to you guys. And I do agree. And that's the reason why I have these guys on here. I am still massaging my channel and making sure I do what I feel is right for me. And so definitely trying to find the projects that I think will be here in the future and that have some value and aren't just fly-by-night BS, for lack of a better term. Anyways, I guess we'll stop for a quick introduction. Zach has joined us. Thank you. If you want to give yourself a quick intro.
Yeah, can you guys hear me okay? It seems like my connection might be a bit off.
I think mine's a little bit weird.
We can't.
You're
Okay.
good.
Oh, you can hear me.
Yeah, you're good.
We
You
got
have a
you.
little lag though,
You
which is
can't.
weird, but yeah,
Okay.
you're good.
Oh, I thought you said you can't. I was like, oh, okay.
I can hear you, sir.
Anyways, okay. Thank you for clarifying. Anyways, yeah, my name is Zach, also known as CryptZom in Discord. Gosh, about me, I'm an entrepreneur at heart. Have a few businesses myself.
Oh, the darn phone technology. Now we've lost you. And he's still going.
You're smiling though, Crip. That's good.
That's a good sign.
All right, I think we'll have to pull him off for a second.
Yeah. Crip, were you the bad one?
Just wave at me when you're ready there. Okay. Darn it, that's always fun. Technology's fun.
I know. Crip's sitting outside of Montana too, you know.
I think I need to kick him from the studio too. Actually, he's got 2 running in here, which might have been the problem. So I'm going to move him out and let him come back fresh. Okay, so we were over here. Oh, no, sorry, we were about to go here. So maybe we want to touch in this while we wait for him to figure out his stuff.
Yeah, what are you looking at, Aces? I can't see.
Sorry.
It.
Why can't you just read my mind?
I'm trying.
And this goes, I guess, into more detail sort of about what we talked about already, because you guys already mentioned the whole difference. If you lock in for longer time, you're going to create longer yields. What I didn't really know, and I didn't read into it enough, and which is now clearer to me now, is you choose your stake beforehand. So you're kind of choosing what you're going to get beforehand. So if you wanted to come in and test the waters, you weren't fully confident yet, or whatever, you could do a 30-day one, get yourself out, and then choose to jump back in, maybe with your house money, or jump back in with more. The choices are kind of yours at that point, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
100%. And I mean, I think too, something to clarify on this infographic, those percentages you see, that's not like your percentage of yield or that you're going to earn. That's the percentage of rewards that are dedicated to that tier. Okay. Right. So that's just so everybody's clear on that. But yeah, and this is what makes the, XCLF represented as an NFT. It makes it really interesting, right? Because the traditional way to enter and get XCLF would be to create liquidity, to stake it, and then to lock it, right? Yeah. Well, how about if you could, maybe somebody needs to get out of their locked position and they're selling it for 95 cents on the dollar, right? So maybe that's your entry point rather too. So it creates a pretty interesting market and dynamic.
Nice, awesome. All right, we're going to jump somebody back in here.
I'm back.
How are we now?
I rebooted everything, so I think I should be better.
Yeah, you sound perfect. No lag.
I'm
all right.
Quickly
who are you, Zach?
My stuff. I'll be right back.
Sure.
No problem. Who am I? Did you not hear me? I guess I probably cut out. I am so sorry, you guys.
You cut out like seconds into your. You said you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah, that's all weird.
Okay. So hopefully the connection stays. If not, then I am so sorry. This is always the worst when people are on live streams.
You're fantastic right now. You go. We got you. Until I said you're fantastic.
They're dropping like flies there.
Get the back feed. You're back though.
Okay. Yeah, we're good. My wife tried to call me. Any other? If anybody else has any other distractions, throw them out, and please. I would love to go over another hurdle. Jeez.
Gotta love it.
Good Lord.
If anybody has any questions, please put them in there while we're waiting for him to tell him about himself.
Yeah, please do so. No, anyways, my name is Zach, also known as CryptZom. Own a few businesses in the States. Kind of put my entrepreneurial spirit to work in DeFi, try to bring some of the knowledge I learned and the hard lessons I learned in real life and business to kind of train me up, I guess, and prepare me to kind of help start some this protocol in DeFi, collective finance, as I am a co-founder. To touch on that a little bit, I have been an angel investor for quite some time now, as I ever since I entered the DeFi space. So, when I entered the DeFi space, I was in the background. I wasn't in any Discord or anything. I didn't know anything about that platform. So essentially, I was just kind of an investor trying to learn about crypto a little bit. And then one thing leads to another. And networks link each other, and then one guy's in crypto that you end up knowing, and then all of a sudden you're in a Discord server, and then the next thing you know, you're on a team, and then you're starting a project, So it just, not everybody goes down that rat hole, but I think, being an entrepreneur at heart, I kind of have that drive I'm never really if I'm stagnant, it's not a good thing for me. So if I can continue to constantly work towards being better every single day, and bringing better utility to the DeFi space too, is really important to me, because I do see decentralized finance being widely used a lot more here very soon.
Absolutely.
So I'm excited to be early in DeFi, because I think we're all pretty early here. So yeah, that's a little bit about me in a nutshell. If you have any questions, shoot them in here. I am from Montana. I'm sitting outside right now, and it's a little cold, but I have a beautiful view of the mountains, and yeah.
Nice. It's much colder here, so you're better off than I am.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you for that intro, and we'll get back to what we were going through, I guess, and carry on our way. So we've gone through the staking, and you can choose where you stake, and then these aren't percentages; they're the yield of the different pies and stuff. Anything else on this one that we need to go through?
I think we hit that. I think we hit most of the high points on that.
Yeah, it's kind of just an overarching one of what we've kind of gone through, just going through, you stake it, you lock it, and then you get your rewards kind of thing and stuff. So
yeah.
Awesome. And this one was just going through a little more detail. So obviously on this one, we didn't go into it too much, but there is that governance, which gives you some voting power, and you get, I'm assuming, some distributions through here, or just voting basically.
Yes. Just voting, and it's probably worth commenting on just real quickly, right? So our governance, like we said, it's going to be through XCLF. So not just if you hold the native token, you have to actually hold the locked version in XCLF. We also have created some with our seed round and our angels. Crip and I said we're really big angel seed investors. Like, we strongly believe in that they're more value than just sort of capital. So we created something called the Angels Table, and it's almost like our de facto advisory board, right? So they're going to help guide us on some of our decisions, investments in the portfolio, distributions, things like that to start, right? And then as we roll out after that, we'll roll out more of the community-driven governance through the XCLF program. So it's sort of a staggered sequence type of governance.
Nice. And one thing I guess I meant to go through, actually, and I guess we should talk a little bit, not to get into not negative stuff, but into the risks, I guess, involved with this. I know obviously with a lot of these pools, there's a lot, or oh my gosh, I just forgot the name, but when you have two pairs locked.
Permanent loss.
Permanent loss, thank you. And permanent loss, sorry, I don't know why I forgot that word all of a sudden. I thought about it 5 minutes ago. So I guess just for everybody, just to take a quick pause on that, impermanent loss obviously is one risk. There's obviously risk of where you put your investments in here. Anything else that should be kind of just hinted at or talked about in this things?
I mean, I think general risks, right? I mean, just normal on-chain security risks. We can go through some of the precautions that we have taken through to be safe about that. But no, and we tried to build into collective finance that different. So, it's not only the volatile CLF token you have exposure to, but it's also Bitcoin, and then it's gold, and then it's stables, or what we call them not so stables now. So through that diversification, for lack of a better term, you can sort of mitigate some of the risk, right? The impermanent loss part of it, with the balancer V2 tech, there is ways that we have minimized that, right? And I know you're going to have NP probably on for Vertec at some point, and you guys can deep dive into that.
But absolutely hint on that and bring collective finance up for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Okay, and that's great. And I do see that. I see how the fact that you have such a diverse portfolio in these three pillars, I guess, if you will, and then on top of that, inside those pillars, there's diversification of its own, which definitely makes sense to me and minimizes that, which is always awesome. And again, I mean, if you happen to do bad on one of your pillars, the other ones are still giving you rewards. It's not like reward stop kind of thing. It just needs to be maybe balanced or something. So that's great. And again, we kind of hinted on all this, but was there anything we wanted to go into detail on these different pillars?
I think it's just important to note that we're going to be focusing on generating outside revenue for the project, because we've obviously seen lots of other projects, I think, fail because of that, not having any revenue generating for themselves. And that's going to be a big focus of the collective within the portfolio. So the portfolio will be a key pillar for the project.
And with that, I guess, and we're talking, when we say outside revenues, are we talking outside of your ecosystem, or are we talking outside of DeFi?
Outside of the ecosystem, so that we're not an enclosed loop or Ponzi, you know, because it's very, you want to have outside revenue so that you're not just focusing on new investors. Or we don't need new capital. We don't need new investors. That's what collective finance is built on.
Awesome. And I guess with the fact that you're doing gold, silver, and diamonds, I think, right? Is there income from that that's generated, again, that's sort of then outside of DeFi, where you're bringing in new money by using those investments? Is there anything like that in this system?
I would say, you know, there's not. Are you talking about like a tangible backing that we're going after? Is that what you're?
No, because I think you're using it as digital backing, but I just wonder if there's, and I guess if there's money coming in from the outside source. I didn't really know whether there was or not, but.
I mean, yes. I mean, there is. I do have off-chain investors. If you know, if that kind of makes a little bit of sense, I'm sure it does. Yeah. But yes, we do. Like, one of the biggest things I focus on is bringing new capital on chain, and I've been somewhat successful, but you know, it could be way better. So, I mean, obviously, I don't take the foot off the gas there, and I mean, we're trying real hard. You know, we just launched a billboard in Vegas today. Outside the MGM Grand, so we're trying to get some of that, you know, outside attention, you know, folks walking down the street, or maybe they're driving in their car or whatever, and you know, we will then, you know, kind of use that to help market as well.
Nice.
Yeah, we talked about this. Where, you know, sometimes I think just take gold, right, to add on to what Cripson was saying. Total global crypto market, about 1 trillion, right? Global gold market, about 11 or 12 trillion, right? Think about what percentage of that is on chain with any type of exposure, right? So, and our goal is to provide, you know, one of the resources is to provide those traditional investors with a way to have exposure to those same positions, but now earn yield on them, right? And be 24/7 access, 365, low cost, weekends, you know, the whole deal. So that's part of really what we're trying to do, I think.
Nice. And we have a bunch of people in the audience. So guys, if you guys have any questions, I'd really love to bring them on. So if you know of anything you want to kind of ask, or any clarification you need on any of this, please let us know. And then yeah, so, and I know this kind of breaks up the collateralized part, can't speak. So this might be worth a little, and I guess I can zoom in a little bit to go through it. Who wants to speak to this?
Yeah. You guys want me to, or go ahead, Chrome, please. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Okay. So it's fairly simple. We try to make it, you know, obviously, like, the breakdown very easy for everybody to understand. So in very simple explanations, and how we've said this many times before, is essentially we're going to be acquiring PAX-G to back the C Gold token. And so every PAX-G is 1-to-1 backed by physical gold stored in London, and it's New York regulated and everything, fully audited, all that stuff. So we have full trust in PAX-G, and all of ourselves have been holders of it over time. So PAX-G is going to be what's backing C Gold. And so to make it easy, essentially, if we have 10 PAX-G, we will only be minting 9 PAX-G worth of tokens, of C Gold tokens, on the Binance side, which will always leave that extra 10% buffer, so that there's always more market value backing the tokens that are on the Binance side.
Yeah, something important too to add on to this. That was well said, Chrome. But that, you know, we say all the time, this is apples to apples, not apples to oranges, right? So that we have gold backing gold. So whenever there's price movement, either up or down, they're synchronous, right? It's not dollars backing gold or Bitcoin backing gold. It's the same asset, right? It's a really key point in what we're doing, because it's different than a lot of like synthetics that are offered out there now.
Yeah, that's a good point. Synthetics. We've got that question too. And yeah, it is not a synthetic at all.
Perfect. Anything else going further down there? Or are we? I guess it just, this is, I guess I should have zoomed out, because we actually went through that whole thing, didn't we?
A little bit. It's basically, in this one, it's explained a little bit differently. It's explained in actually like gram annotations. So every one PAX G is equal to 31 grams of gold, and that's in troy ounces in troy. So basically, if we had 31 grams of the gold, that we would only do 28 grams of gold minted onto the other side. And then if we ever need to, it's very easy for us to burn C gold tokens and then increase the overall collateralization of all the other C gold tokens out there.
Oh, nice. That's a neat little feature. Yeah. So other than that, I guess, and for starters, obviously, if anybody wants to get involved, obviously it's clicking on the pre-sale page. And then you can choose whether you want to buy with USDT and BUSD, as we talked about before. We kind of showed this. I'm assuming you'll approve it, whatever amount you want, and then approve the other. Is there a minimum or maximum?
Yeah, there's a minimum of $50 and no maximum. There's actually, if you scroll up just a tiny little bit, there is a guide. I made a little video, a little walkthrough video. So if anybody is confused on how to enter, I made a step-by-step walkthrough, approving transaction, staking, and entering into the pre-sale. So
nice. Okay. And yeah, other than that, was there anything else you guys wanted to go through? Any points we maybe missed or things that you guys are kind of highlighting now? I know you've kind of launched already. We've got a little bit of fun started already. So obviously for you guys in the audience or for anybody that watches this later, the big thing would be to go to the Discord, which will be in the description of the video. And I can probably throw one in now. And then anything else you guys wanted to kind of touch on there?
No, that's it. I think that's exactly it. You hit it. Just I think collective finance, one of the things, it might look complicated when you look at it from the outside, but once you dig in, it's pretty straightforward, right? And the principles that we've built it on are a little different. Maybe it's not built off of high APRs, crazy rebases, anything like that, right? It's more built on these solid foundations, and the idea behind collective finance is to provide yield and stability and growth, right? All of those built into one in a long-term picture. So spread the word. If you have questions, hop into the Discord. All of us are super available. Just so everybody knows, we've all been KYC, doxed, out the wazoo. All those bonds, our contracts are audited, all that good stuff too. So yeah, that's my sort of last message.
Yeah, nice. And that's the thing, right? And that's what we want to see more of in this space. And that's what I appreciate about you guys and why we had a chat and why I kind of became on a partner and then an angel investor is because I have faith in what I see in people and when talking with people and the vibe you get in your gut on who you're dealing with and whether they're trustworthy, whether they're honest, whether they're integrity driven. So I definitely, as much as I can't say this is as always, this is not financial advice, but I do appreciate a team that has the kind of integrity and the transparency you guys have and something different. There's definitely some commonalities in different aspects of how this protocol runs, but it's not just a cut and paste thing. Coding wise, I guess obviously NP did that, but it's all new stuff, right? It's not just
essentially
it wasn't just NP either. We have a hell of a dev team. So I always tell LB because he's one of my friends and he doesn't get talked about enough. So he's a great guy and he's on the team and along with some other devs as well.
Nice. And so I threw the Discord in there and then pre-sale to now. Oh yeah,
I've seen that before, and I'm super confused why people keep bringing up truth seekers.
I just realized Pure. I'm like, Pure, what are you doing? I'll go slap his hand later. I didn't even realize it. It said truth seekers until I pulled it up.
Yeah, you guys saw our pre-sale is through our D app, right? Yeah, exactly.
So yes, if it was a truth seekers thing, we would have been going through whatever the command swap or whatever. But there's none of that happening. We're actually tech, which is their own deck. Really, well, not your own deck, but a deck with a partner. So yeah, very different.
Just real quick, sorry to interrupt you, Aces, but it's a really interesting time in sort of the global economic situation when you look at a protocol like ours. Do you know what I mean? When you look at what's happening with inflation, are there changes in the dollar, the central bank digital currencies and everything? So, it's an interesting time. So, and we always say, just to leave it, collective finance is being built on gold and Bitcoin, right? So pretty solid foundation, hopefully.
Absolutely. And if you believe some of the people right now, it's going to 1 million in 2 months or 3 months or something like that.
That 90 days, yeah.
Yeah. Gotta love it. Well, thanks so much, guys. I appreciate this chat. I know we've chatted a few times off on camera, but on our own and stuff. But it's really great to kind of just hang and go through this stuff in a little more detail. Definitely let me know if there's anything else I can do. And I'll be in the Discord a little bit more. I've just been a little bit tied up with some stuff, but hoping to finally get there. Hopefully if something else pans out, we'll all have a little more money to invest into you guys. But not financial advice. I look at the camera.
Thanks for having us, Aces. We really appreciate you too, man. I hope you know that we really do.
No, I appreciate you guys, and yeah, that's awesome. So, anyways, any final last words? Otherwise, we can say goodbye. And this was a great, tight kind of just AMA that I think will give people a lot of info to work with. And so I appreciate you guys hanging.
Yeah,
I
thanks.
just want to add. Just gonna add in. We're very easily reachable, so you can always like contact us directly. Twitter, Discord, Telegram, stuff like that. Definitely join our Discord if you're interested. We'll be having lots of events, competitions, giveaways, and there's always stuff going on. So we're gonna be building up and growing over this time. So don't miss out on this opportunity. We're just starting to build up.
Yeah, and lots of content out there if you guys want to get a little more of a teaser on what they're all about. Just put Serenity up there right now. He's done a launch as well as I think a couple of YouTubes, and there's lots of other great guys out there that have been doing them. I think you guys said you met with Yabonks or Alex yesterday, so that should be coming out probably in 3 weeks, knowing his schedule sometimes.
We're so grateful for we love you, Bugs. Like he's our guy.
He's awesome.
I think I got off at 4 a.m. last night, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a record for him, unfortunately. But
no, it's not even close to a record, right? I know.
Awesome.
Seems like it's normal.
Yeah, exactly. All right, thanks so much, guys, and and we'll see more of you, of course, and please, guys, if you do have a chance, definitely take a moment to go into their Discord and say hi, and by all means, drop me a little to let me know that you came in through here. I always like to know when people actually listening to this stuff. So, thanks, guys. Have a good night.